Hello guys, and welcome back to the Western Journal. This is yet another news report on over-proud Indians trying to claim that Muslim countries are getting poorer, while India has grown into a superpower. Although Muslim countries do have their own struggles, the vast majority of Muslim countries are doing much better than India. This over-proud Indian nationalist, Gaurav Thakur, has produced 2 videos on why Muslim countries are poor, with the thumbnail reading why they all are poor. Granted, Muslim countries are not as rich as Western ones, they're still not as poor as India. India is by far one of the poorest countries in the world, with 600 to 900 million Indians lacking basic access to toilets, and 90% of Indians not knowing where their next meal is coming from. I'm going to go through some GDP pairs to illustrate to you why Muslim countries at large are much richer than India. First, let's start with India's GDP per capita. Although India has a large GDP at around $3 trillion, they have the world's largest population at around 1.4 billion people. Even this number is grossly underestimated, and it's estimated that India actually has around 1.7 billion people. However, India's GDP per capita is just $2,480 as of Now, let's compare that to some Muslim countries. Let's start off with Turkey, since this Indian nationalist put the Turkish flag in his YouTube thumbnail. Turkey's GDP per capita is $13,105. That's more than $10,000 more than what India has. Yet Indians still have the audacity to put the Turkish flag in their poor Muslim country's video. Next, let's go to Iran. Iran's GDP per capita is $4,465. That is around 2,000 United States dollars more than India's. Yet this Indian decided to put the Iranian leader in his YouTube thumbnail. Next, let's go to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's GDP per capita is $32,093. This is significantly higher than India's, around 10 times higher. Many Indians even go to Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states as migrant workers, and have flooded countries like the UAE because they can't find any more economic opportunity in their so-called superpower. Let's change it up a little. Let's go to Central Asia. These countries are landlocked and lack basic access to ports, so surely India has to be doing better than these countries, right? Wrong. Kazakhstan's GDP per capita is $12,918. This is significantly higher than India's. Next, let's go to Southeast Asia, a region where unwanted Indian tourists have flooded. Indonesia's GDP per capita is $4,876, significantly higher than India's. Even in India's own neighborhood, Bangladesh and the Maldives have higher GDP per capita than India. There's only 2 nations that India has a higher GDP per capita than, and that is Afghanistan and Pakistan. Even this GDP per capita of India is grossly misunderstood, as the South contributes 2/3 of India's GDP while having around 300 million people living there. This means 1/3 of India's $3 trillion GDP, around $1 trillion, is divided by 1 billion people. Around $1,000 is the true GDP per capita for around 1 billion Indians. This would make it one of the poorest countries in the world, the poorest in Asia by far, and even poorer than the bulk of Africa. We can see this poverty in many metrics, like the fact that 600 to 900 million Indians lack basic access to toilets, and that 90% of Indians have zero. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing and supporting the channel, and like if you liked this news report. This has been the Western Journal, bringing you reports from around the world.